I really appreciate you joining me again today, and we've had news from Birmingham and also Manchester, and these are some stories coming from London. Thank you to Dave Nathan for his help in filming from the scenes, and also for all of you that send the stories in every single day. The recent story on Sidhu Moosewalla's murder has actually been age restricted on YouTube, so I've had to put this on the website so you don't have to show them ID in order to watch it. There's no graphic footage in the story, but YouTube doesn't want to allow this to be viewed for some reason. This first story comes from Croydon. There was a 4-hour standoff with a man that has now been arrested on Wednesday, June the 1st. There was a heavy police presence on the High Street and the corner of Katharine Street for several hours, and there was a heavy diversion of traffic, and locals were told to stay indoors. Police were at the scene with 11 armed officers in riot gear, and there was a number of police lined up, and the access to the roads was blocked. Police have confirmed the man was wanted and he was throwing items out of his property that was above a Tony and Guy hair salon and also Rio's Chicken. The man is aged in his 30s and he was arrested on suspicion of GBH after the 4.5-hour standoff. My London newspaper reported that local residents and businesses were told to stay indoors and flats were evacuated nearby, and one resident said that a knife was thrown at the police and also a table and chairs. And I am aware of another situation similar to this where a man was on a rooftop throwing slates, but that is totally unrelated in a different part of London. Gladly, nobody was seriously injured in this situation, and I'm not sure of the man's mental health and the current state of it at the moment. But at the same time, police said that he was wanted for GBH and he's now in custody. So hopefully if he does need any help, he'll be able to get that inside. So I would definitely follow this up if there is any update, and I really want to hear what people have to say on that story. In some other news coming from London, a cyclist has died after a collision with a vehicle near the BP garage on Mitcham Road. This occurred at 3 a.m. on Monday the 30th of May, and police were called to reports of the collision, and despite the best efforts of emergency services, the cyclist died at the scene. Police were in the process of trying to trace the man's next of kin, and they are not releasing any details as of yet. The car failed to stop at the scene, and detectives from the Road and Transport Policing are investigating this incident and trying to identify the car and also the driver. There is a blue tent erected in the middle of the road where the incident took place, and this is a very busy road that runs through South London, and there would have been a lot of traffic diverted at this time as there was going to work in the morning. A recovery truck was also seen at the scene, and there was also forensic officers working nearby at a used car lot. So I'll definitely keep you updated on anything to do with that story, and please don't forget to leave your respects in the comments for the man that has passed away. In this next story coming from North Finchley in Barnet, on the 27th of May, a murder investigation was launched after a male in his 40s was found with a serious neck injury on Ballards Lane in West Finchley. This occurred at 4:05 in the morning, so this is very early hours of the morning, and officers attended along with the ambulance service and found him with the serious neck injury. He died at the scene despite the best efforts of the paramedics. The death is treated as suspicious, and police from the crime command are investigating. A 40-year-old male was arrested at the scene and remains in police custody. Detective Chief Inspector Linda Bradley said, "This is a tragic incident and we are carrying out inquiries to try to piece together what has occurred and also trying to identify the next of kin of the victim. We are trawling through CCTV today and have spoken to several witnesses, and we are trying to gather more information." The High Street was cordoned off even in the daytime, and there was a lot of forensic officers operating in the local area. There was gathering evidence even from the drains as well, some places where people may have disposed of weapons, and also checking bin bags in case any evidence is in there. So my condolences to the family of the victim who is yet to be named, and I'll definitely follow it up if there's anything more to do with that story in relation to a trial and any charges. So really appreciate you joining me for this London update, and I've got some more news coming later from London. And don't forget to follow online as well at Scarcity Studios on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter and Facebook. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.